Hello everyone, it's Major Park. I truly apologize for coming back too late on the video. I've been so busy with so many things going on, so sorry about that. But thank you guys for continuing to and watching my all those videos, and you guys are leaving a great comments. So continue to do so. And also, I know some of you is helping each other. You guys are responding your comments. If you know the answer, please do that. It's helpful for me, but it's very helpful for others. So please continue to do that. It helps support the service, people in the service, also people who's trying to join the service. So clarifying those answers, writing a very accurate, factual information is also very helpful for them. Just want to kind of go over some of the comments. I know RD, he left a comment about 2 weeks ago about, hey, Major Park, is there an English version for this video? I'm really interested, but my Hangul is not that great. Well, thank you. Thank you for the great comment, by the way. Absolutely, RD. For next time, I'll prepare a English version for you about this full-time, part-time status in the Army. I'll definitely do that, so that way you can understand in English version. So in the past, just RD, just to let you know, I know I've done a lot of Korean version in the past, but moving forward, I try to do more English version, so that way I can help out both, people who speak Korean, also people who speak English. Today, I'd like to talk about the Army news. Basically, new Army Secretary sends first message to the force. Joe Biden's administration currently in Washington, D.C. for, he's a new president, right? So obviously, we do also have a new Army Secretary. So a Defense Secretary Policy, Christian Wormuth, testifies before House Armed Services Committees. So Ms. Wormuth is the new Secretary of Army Secretary. Okay, so and Armed Services Committee on Islamic State related issues. That's when she was testifying back in March. Newly confirmed Secretary of Army Christian Wormuth released her first message to the force Tuesday, saying that qualify of the life initiative and personal issues will remain a priority. Right, so obviously the personal issue is always a priority for Army Secretary of the Army, right? So obviously any organization you go, even with the military, personnel readiness is critical, right? So whether it's related to the end strength, whether it's related to the readiness of the force, training, all that stuff, right? Manning, training, equipment, all that, the important things to make that great organization. It starts with the personnel, right? So that's why she's saying that's her initiative, first priority. And the first woman to hold top civilian Army role. That's very exciting, right? The first woman to be the top civilian Army role. So I think that's very, very historical moment. And also promised to usher along the Army's modernization efforts, which have been closely guarded in recent budget battles. And the Wormuth's predecessors and current Army leaders have championed modernization programs like long-range precision fires, future vertical lift, and key to competing against adversaries like China, Russia in the coming decades. Whenever there's a new administration that comes on board, national security strategy changes, right? The new strategy comes in place. But some of the things that didn't change is the modernization. The competing against China and Russia, right? That's still there. But when it comes to modernization, what is that modernization, right? Because obviously the man, train, equip portion is still there. That's something that we've been doing in the past. The modernize meaning that we're modernizing force. It can be a new force structure, or it can be a new technology, right? Implementing a new solution within the organization. So that modernize meaning when you compare with the conventional warfare, and when you look at those old days, the World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, Korean War, all those different era, right? When you look at it compared to now, obviously the world is changing, the world is changing, right? Every day we're living in a very fast-paced, very rapidly changing world around the world, right? So even military, we have to catch up with the pace, right? That's why modernize is very important, okay? To win the war and the fight, that's one of the key things that we have to we take consideration. And then the Army Secretary of Army, Ms. Wormuth, is talking about that here. That's going to be her initiative. But to maintain readiness in force, Wormuth added the Army needs to eliminate harmful behaviors that undermines it, right? There is no place in our army for sexual harassment and assault, domestic violence, extremism, or racism, she wrote. Warmoth comes into the Department of the Army with less connection to ground service than Secretaries Ryan McCarthy and Mark Asper, both former soldiers. Still, she has a significant background in policy making. Warmoth has a member of Biden administration's Pentagon transition team and also served as Under Secretary of Defense for Policy, the Pentagon's top policy role from 2014 to 2016 during the Obama administration. That was her previous role. Okay, she's been serving in very high up roles within the military DoD. Okay, Warmoth's tenure will be marked by a reduction in resourcing, at least in the near term. President Joe Biden's fiscal year 2022 budget cuts Army's top line funding by $3.6 billion and trims the Army's end strength across all three components. When you talk about three components, we're talking about Army regular, active regular Army. Component 2, I mentioned in the previous video, right? What's Component 2 is Army National Guard, and Component 3 is Army Reserves. We request a total reduction of 1,800 troops. So 1,800 troops will be cut from the force. Think about that. That's a lot of cut. They're going to be leaving the service. Right? Warmoth is also coming into Army's top civilian posts after her immediate predecessor, McCarthy, dealt with a troubling revelation about Fort Hood's sexual misconduct response program and the CID's detachment, both of which have had implications across the force. Managing those issues and implementing a litany of suggestive reforms will be at the top of the docket for the new secretary. Okay, I mentioned in the previous video was about the, LGBT in the force, the race, sex, your different sex, where you're coming from, your origin, does not matter, right? You cannot discriminate against someone because of where they're from, number one. And number two is sexual misconduct. There's no place in the military, in the U.S. Army. It is unacceptable behavior, and we will not tolerate any sexual misconduct within the force. So we take it very seriously, and that's something that you do not want to do that. Okay, you will be in a big trouble, and it's probably gonna be the worst than you join the service. Might as well you don't join the service if you committed that crime, especially sexual misconduct, and then the leadership or the organization finds out, and you're in big trouble. Might as well you didn't join the service. Okay, so not only you're gonna end up in the jail or for Leavenworth, all those negative things that's gonna happen to you. Not only that, right? It's just that when you have that dishonorable discharge mark under your paper, you're probably not gonna get a job anywhere. That is just mark, just gonna follow with you, pretty much until the end. So we take it very seriously, and that's something that you do not want to commit. You do not want to be in this situation at all. Period. So I apologize again for being late this time, but I'll try to get back onto the video. And once again, thank you guys for liking my video, subscribing my video, and also putting an alarm on my video as well. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you. It was a major part.